Surprisingly, one of the most powerful, potent things is happening in the game right now, and I just wanted to share some ways that you can maybe take advantage of it on your account. So let's jump right in. Quick one here. Hit me up in the comments if this was helpful to you, and all you new people, you're not subscribed. Let's get it. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. How you doing today? We have a random free gear removal that started today. Is this the normal one for Cursed City? I guess it's quick if that's the case. But either way, this is one of the most powerful, potent times in the game. And later on stream, if I have time, I'm going to hop on my alt account, the Corrado account as I call it, and we're going to re-gear a bunch of people. But I have a lot of takeovers to do, so we might be just using the free gear removal for other people and not me. Either way, I should be streaming today. That is not typical for me, so if you have some time, come on out to the live stream. I want to mention a couple of things, and hopefully that's going to be helpful to you today with this free gear removal. Okay, number one, whatever champions that you want to use, if you go and you throw them in your vault, move to reserve vault, you can just remove all of the gear from them. You can do that as one champion, you can do that as all of them. So if there's old champions with super bad gear that you just want to sell, you can just quickly remove it by throwing them in your reserve vault. I think that is a great and amazing way to just have a quick boost to your account. And then you can worry about gearing them later. That's fine, but that will get all of the gear off. That's a pretty commonly known thing, but I think that is worthwhile. I was trying to stay off of the Mythic screen, but whatever. One of the things that I think is very beneficial during this time is to just click through all of your champions. And if you have not, seen my roster or whatever, this is not a flex. This is legitimately what I do. Trunda shares a chest with He-Man, so that's nothing. One of the great things during the free gear removal is identifying champions with missing gear. Because a lot of times what ends up happening is you end up taking gear and putting it on other people. And so if you haven't done the artifact enhancement event and you want to level up gear at the same time, I'm probably blocking that. Let me scoot it over. That's another thing that can overlap here as well. But yeah, we'll just throw this one on here. You can use this time to make sure all of your champions are geared appropriately, and that can be very helpful. Speed and probably accuracy. And then you could just put random pieces of gear on people. We probably should finish this with a perception set. Yeah, perfectly fine. I think that's literally perfect. Okay, great. Anyway, I love Manaya, for those of you who don't know. I went from 0 Manayas to all the Manayas, and we're still getting more. So I'm okay with it. I never did get around to making the Manaya Coronar video. I feel like that time has passed in our lives, but I don't know. I guess you guys could request that I do that. Okay, so that's thing number 2. Finding and replacing gear that's missing on champions. Even if you don't do that during the free gear removal, that's something that's really, really helpful. Alright, now on to recently used. I've done a fair bit of videos lately of champions who have gotten a resurgence or hidden gems I was talking about with Ash the other day that could be used in live arena. All of that stuff, no matter whether it's gearing a new champion, whether that is re-gearing an existing champion, I think that now is the perfect time to do that. Let's say you're not happy with your Sun Wukong build. I stole his gloves recently, and I don't like the slow stone skin build. I do not think that's the way to go. It does kind of get people sometimes, but especially if I'm going to use him in live arena, Like, there's no way this build is going to work for me right now. But it is a spicy build. If you want something interesting and different, Slow in Stone Skin plus Savage or something like that is a really, really fun build. However, I've been working on some faster builds. Like this one, for example. I got a couple rare pieces of gear here. Where's the accessories also? I want to switch to these ones. So, like, trying to get him a lot faster, I think is just going to be way more powerful. And, you know, I don't have the actual gloves on to compare. So that would be like 280, 300. Where's the build that I had before on him? Was it this one? It was something similar to that. But with stone skin, right? So it was like 200 speed, 300 crit damage, 7,800 attack. Strong build, right? But that speed is just too slow, I think. And the faster that you can make him, the more he's going to respawn, okay? I heard Nub and Drock talking about building your Wukong faster, and I was like, yeah, I definitely need to build my Wukong faster. And I think most people do also. Whether you can do 272 or faster, or whether you can only do 200, 220, 250, whatever it is, working on the speed while keeping the same damage stats and a little bit of accuracy is definitely a good thing for Wukong. These are the two builds I was deciding between. These crit damage gloves are a bomb, but they have the crit rate that I would try to flip here to probably crit damage, or I would take attack percentage. But that puts me in 4-piece pinpoint, which would be really cool. The problem is I need to decide whether I'm okay stealing all of this gear, because that's 8 pieces I'm stealing from people, okay? So, regearing your Wukong, I think, is a great idea for this free gear removal, or regearing somebody on your account for a new purpose. Another champion, where is she? Oh, she's supposed to be under recently used. Wait, maybe she's in the vault. Ah, I have her in the vault. Regearing your Seer, I think, is an amazing idea. I think a lot of people's Seers have some of their best Savage gear on their account. And you don't need that. You don't need that anymore. Put more buffs in the team. Make sure you have decreased defense and weaken. And for most people, I think that we should be gearing our Seer in Instinct gear. You probably have a bunch of it if you've been playing for a little while. It's probably sitting around there, and you could just go use it easily. You know what I mean? Like, look at these crit rate, crit damage gloves. Like, I could just run that. I could run this crit damage gloves here. I could run these speed boots. Those actually look great. You know, and I'm not sacrificing anything. I just want to make sure that I stick around the same speed. And I have 100% crit rate, etc. You know? This is not, Seer does not need crazy stats in 2025. She has way more abilities to do the damage you need for her to do. And you don't need to worry about all of the crazy gear, okay? You really don't. Okay, so let me get the build ready for her so that I can show you. Okay, there we go. So we got the Instinct plus Killstroke set. The literal same exact speed, which is fascinating, and a little bit more crit damage to make up for the fact that, you know, we're going Instinct instead of Savage. Then I can use those Savage pieces on other people, which is really, really great. So, although I'm going to be sad to regear Zargala, and that does make a little bit more work, this is like a really powerful thing to do. I want to mention the new Fusion. I don't have him yet, but this is the type of build that I recommend for him. Putting pinpoint and accuracy, and if you can hit the like 350 speed range while having a lot of accuracy, I think that that's going to be a really great build for Fabian. This is a really great build for Armands, any type of accuracy based control type champion. Another one that you might want to consider regearing this weekend is going to be, or this weekend? Lady Mikage. Lady Mikage can be built in so many different ways. Check and see if you have 9-piece protection. Or maybe you want an arena speed build and you want to move speed gear onto her. Whatever the case might be, this is my PvE build, and I really want another Mikage, if I want to be honest with you. And then, last but not least, some nukers. I think Phoenix is really poised for a comeback. With the addition of the new guy, Khan, a lot of people have mentioned his A1 and Phoenix's A1 are pretty similar. So if you didn't get Khan, but you want that type of effect, maybe it's time to build, regear, whatever the case might be, your Phoenix. I'm going to consider working on Leorius because I just want to use him again. If you have a successful Leorius strategy for Live Arena, message me pretty please. And last but not least, I've just gotten a lot of requests about Cheshire Cat, so I thought I would mention him here. You want to prioritize your fastest gear for him, and then damage stats secondary. A lot of the times that means you want to start with crit rate gloves. I have these busted crit damage gloves, so I started with those, and I put him close to 300 speed. He does have some of the best gear on my account, but he's been absolutely smacking. Absolutely smacking. People have asked me continuously since I had this build, you know, what's the build? What does it look like? Can you give me some stats? I don't know if that's relatable or not, but fast with damage. A good way to do that would be if you have a lethal set on top of a speed set. Do I have a lethal plus speed setup? I think I do. 1 second. Okay, maybe here's a little bit more relatable build with this Rhonda here. 214 speed, the 99 special, 6800 attack, 248 crit damage, and I'm sure with a little bit more effort, you know, we could get out of the 4-piece Merciless, but, you know, that's helpful. Even if you have to go a 6-piece speed damage build or like a hybrid damage and speed build, I think that will be good. And then if you want like a more end game type version of that idea, this is the Baron build I used for Doom Tower for the longest time. 265, 67, 56, and 279 crit damage. And yeah, I mean, like, he's in like an offense set and broken pieces, but like, that's the idea of the build. So I think that's all the things I wanted to mention today. There's a lot of cool champions that you can re-gear on your account, and now's the time to try stuff. If you just want to try a fun build on Phoenix or Sun Wukong, and or whoever, you want to try something new and different, now's the time, because you can switch the gear. If you don't like it, then you can switch it back. I like taking pictures of the gear and saving them, and then that way I can always refer back to it. But another great way to manage that is just your preset manager. Then you can switch back and forth between the builds and see, you know, which build is going to be best. What do you want on what champion? And do you like the slower, like high damage build? Do you like the faster, less damage build? What is going to work for you? You can try some things. So you got like 3 more days to do that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who are you excited to re-gear this weekend? And I'll see you guys later on stream.